Reinako's company, Ajisai began her runaway journey. They found a hot spring inn to stay at temporarily. Changing into a yokata, Ajisai treated Reinako to a visual feast. Learning that the inn also had a bathish, Ajisai asked if Reinako would like to go experience it together. Afraid that she wouldn't be able to stop staring at Ajisai with lecherous eyes during the bath, Reinako declined the invitation. This left Ajisai feeling somewhat disappointed. She suddenly suggested that she would cover all the expenses for the trip, since she was the one who had decided to run away on her own accord. She was already happy enough that Reinako had come to keep her company. Naturally, Reinako couldn't accept this proposal. Seeing that she couldn't persuade Ajisai, Reinako challenged her to a table tennis match. If Reinako lost, she would agree to Ajisai's terms. If Ajisai lost, she would let Reinako share the travel expenses. During the match, Ajisai mentioned that she only feels happy when the people around her are happy. So she always keeps her negative emotions buried deep inside, sharing only her positive side with others. In other words, she isn't as gentle a person as she seems. Everything she does is ultimately for herself. But Reinako believes that what matters is not what one thinks but what one does. Even if it's just for herself, Ajisai's gentleness toward others is undeniable. It is precisely because Reinako has been saved by such an Ajisai that she has decided to make Ajisai happy during this runaway journey. Ajisai said that just being able to stay with Reinako already makes her happy. Reinako replied that if that were the case, she shouldn't do things like paying for everything, as if trying to draw a line between them. She also came along because she wanted to be with Ajisai. The world isn't only filled with happy things, but Reinako wants to share both good and bad with Ajisai, because she loves Ajisai the most. As she spoke, Reinako couldn't hold back her tears. Feeling Reinako's sincerity, Ajisai tightly embraced her. Comforted by Ajisai, Reinako quickly calmed down. Since Ajisai won the table tennis match, Reinako had to agree to her request to enjoy the private bath together. Being naked with Ajisai made Reinako extremely nervous. To avoid making the atmosphere even more awkward, Reinako brought up her previous experience bathing with Satsuki. However, she accidentally let slip that she had unexpectedly touched Satsuki's chest during that incident. To her surprise, Ajisai suddenly asked Reinako if she would like to touch her chest as well, suggesting that it might overwrite the memory of touching Satsuki's chest. Not wanting to disappoint Ajisai's kindness, Reinako reluctantly went along with it. However, she didn't tell Ajisai that the memory wasn't overwritten. Instead, she created a new mental folder for Ajisai. Afterward, the two chatted while soaking in the hot spring. Ajisai mentioned that Reinako feels more like a lover to her than a friend. She asked Reinako what a lover means to her. Reinako replied that lately, she has started to feel that romantic love and friendship don't seem all that different. She then asked Ajisai how she distinguishes between the two. Ajisai took Reinako's hand and said she isn't quite sure either. That night, as they prepared for bed, Ajisai and Reinako talked about romance like schoolgirls on a field trip. Learning that Ajisai has someone she's interested in, Reinako grew curious about who it might be. Ajisai suddenly brought up Reinako's earlier question about distinguishing between friendship and romantic love. She said that if it's just friendship, one probably wouldn't have lewd thoughts about the other person. She asked Reinako if she ever has inappropriate thoughts about her friends. Seeing Reinako hesitate in her response, Ajisai teasingly warned her not to take advantage of her while she's running away. This left Reinako flustered, and she quickly ended the topic. The next morning, after breakfast, Reinako noticed Ajisai was still asleep. Just as she was about to wake her, Ajisai suddenly pulled her into the futon. Ajisai said she wanted to spend the day pretending to be Reinako's younger sister. Though a bit embarrassed, Reinako did her best to play along with the roleplay. To keep the conversation going, Reinako opened the emergency kit that Satsuki had prepared for her. However, the content turned out to be a question about when the other person's first intimate experience was an R18 topic clearly unsuitable for the moment. Reinako decided to look for other topics online, but accidentally stumbled upon photos of Satsuki and Kyoka's playing. As if by telepathy, Satsuki immediately called and demanded that Reinako forget what she had just seen. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Reinako went to check and found that Mai had followed them there. Before Reinako could say anything, Mai walked straight into the room and stumbled upon Ajisai, who was acting like a little sister and asking for a hug. The situation became extremely awkward. What changes will Mai's arrival bring to this runaway journey? Stay tuned to my channel for the latest updates on the new series.